Welcome to Film Room with Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell. And Coach, couldn't ask for a better start, and we are just thrilled that you're willing to share some of these plays that got us to where we are now.
Yeah, I think, Pete, you know what I'm most excited about is our team has done a lot of really good things, but I think there's a ton of room for us to continue to grow, get better. That's what the bye week's for. It's, you know, a chance to have a little bit of a reset. Don't want to reset too much when you're 5-0. And we're going to take a look at some plays, 3 from the offense, 3 from the defense, that have really kind of, set the standard of what we're looking for moving forward, and just areas where we can continue to apply pressure a lot of different ways, whether we're talking about our offense versus the opposing defense or Flo's group against the offenses we've played. And we've played some good football teams, and they've really forced us to have high levels of execution.
1st and 10, Viking defense holds. Aaron Jones into the secondary, slashing his way past the 40.
First one we're going to look at today is just a very simple, looks like old school football right there. You got Hammer at the fullback position, and then there's that spotlight on Aaron Jones. What an addition to our team he's been. But really, as we play this, you're just going to see us running a simple tight zone variation that we like to run. But what I want you to watch first and foremost is just watch the line of scrimmage again. See these combinations, see Hammer fitting up. We're really not getting touched. It's about 5-6 yards down the field, and then Aaron takes this thing for about 16 plus a 15-yard penalty at the end. And when we look at it from the end zone, I really just want you to see a couple things. So we're going to basically be taking this double team, going to that backer right there, this double team going to there, and now we're going to try to get that movement. And I really want to see the play, really what we've talked a lot about. Fans have heard me say play style. To me, play style is when you turn on the tape and you've got 2 double teams at the point of attack. What do those things look like? And then obviously we're going to bring Hammer now back across the formation to go ahead and block that guy. Josh Oliver taking care of that defensive end. And we're just trying to open up a crease in this area of the field where we can then have the ability for Aaron Jones to get vertical on this defense right now. So take a look. Watch the movement the guys get up front as we play this. Watch this thing again, and you can reload that thing just so we can see the initial movement. All right, 67, 75, 64, and 56. We play this thing, and you're going to see these guys. Look at that movement, Pete.
Yep.
I mean, their middle linebacker doesn't really know where to fit because the gaps are being moved 3 or 4 yards down the field. And then we get to the second level, you see our receivers and the linemen finishing at the pile. That is a play style clip. It's very simple. There's not a lot of scheme involved in that.
It's very difficult for a linebacker to fit against an old school ISO play when your D lineman is in your lap.
Exactly, exactly. And on this drive, we end up having a 3rd and long conversion to Speedy, and then on the very next play,
from the shotgun, another good pocket to the end zone. Touchdown! Welcome back, Jordan Addison.
In this day and age, defensive backs are being coached to be aggressive on the quarterback's footwork, on the routes they think they're seeing. Can we make things start out looking the same but end up being different? And we've run this play a ton where we'll motion Oliver over, and then he's going to essentially run a little outcut right there, and everybody's seen it. We have a curl route sometimes we have an outcut, but in this case, we had Jordan kind of break down right at the break point right here, stop that corner's feet, and we're gonna go for a double move touchdown. But I just want people to watch Jordan's route right here. Watch the speed at which he flies off the ball, and then right about that point, just a subtle little set, stops the corner's feet, and it's pretty hard to get people that open in the NFL, but with the execution you see right there, that's one thing. The other thing to take a look at is what's been huge. When our pass game is going and it's clicking, we've got great receivers. We've got Sam Darnold who's throwing the ball all over the yard, but it's about the protection. So watch this one right here. Ends up being a 4-man rush, pretty relegated defense right here, and against a pretty good front. Got all day back there.
Great job by Blake Brandell.
Great job away from the slide. Blake Brandell. You got Justin away from Jordan on that formation, taking a ton of attention. Even when 18's not catching 15 balls a game, like we like to try to get him involved, he's having an impact on the defense, and having Jordan Addison opposite has been huge. Another guy that's shown up all season long, especially in Jordan's absence, which was a couple games there at US Bank Stadium. This is the Jaylen Naylor show.
Darnold looks, throws it, caught, Naylor, touchdown!
So this is going to be a simple concept. We're going to bring Johnny Munt in a fast motion right here, and not all that much different. To when we've seen this stuff before, where he's going to be a fast motion player. He's going to come out here and go to the flat. We're going to try to get a little quick game concept. And all we're really trying to do is we're throwing this if we got it, but Sam being on quick game footwork is going to set this defense so we really can isolate that player right there. If he's going to try to join the party and play 3 over these 2 right here, well, that's going to give Speedy the ability to try to run away from the defense on the backside, and he should be able to run away from his cover player. But watch the leverage he ends up getting right here. So this guy ends up trying to stay hard inside leverage of him. He really shouldn't let Speedy get in there, but we call him Speedy for a reason because he's going to just run a race. It's a track meet now across the back of the end zone, and if he beats that player right there, we're going to have a chance to reset and throw this thing and finish to Justin Jefferson in the back of the end zone if we need it. But look at the precision of the throw. And when we go to the end zone, you know, one of the things that Sam Darnold has done a really good job of is buying into how we teach footwork, fundamentals, technique. What am I doing with my eyes? Are my feet and eyes working together? And this is a wonderful example of that. Just take a look at him right here. There goes Johnny Munt. Watch the quick game footwork. Bang, puts that back foot in the ground right there. Feet and eyes traveling together. And now he knows by setting his feet like that, it's going to stop the defense. This linebacker stops his feet right there. And then we end up resetting back and see how he's starting his arm. Speedy hasn't even crossed over the ball yet. It's all about rhythm and timing, displacing defenders. Even in the short area, the ball at the 5-yard line, we're able to get that kind of void and vacancy to throw that ball in right there. So just impressive from Sam. This is not a guy that's been in this offense, Pete, for 2 or 3 years. He's bought into how we try to coach him, and he's doing things at a really high level. And just like he always has in his career, the guy can flat out throw the rock.
It's not just the arm strength, is it? It's your arm strength being tied to your feet. So footwork is unbelievably important, isn't it not?
Base, balance, body position. If you don't have those as you work through a real NFL play with rush, you have nothing, because you're going to end up throwing a bunch of change-ups all day, and that ball that we just saw gets knocked away if you don't have juice on it, if you don't locate it a foot in front of the numbers. I mean, this is world-class execution at the highest level of playing our sport. It requires you to be, on top of your game, and Sam's done a really nice job of that.
You saw with the Johnny Munt touchdown, where he's been able to just rifle that thing in there right at the right spot.
Being decisive, that's what it's all about. We're trying to set up plays where Sam can just be decisive and throw the football, because he's really a special thrower of the football. I've always thought that since many, many years ago. All right, flipping over, Pete, to the defensive side.
They blitz Rodgers, and they pay for it. Picked off by Van Ginkel, and is loose. Touchdown!
I figured we'd take a look at really some pressure looks, some looks where we, offensively, how many times have you heard me say plays that start out looking the same but end up being different?
Absolutely.
Brian Flores is here because I love hanging out with him and getting to do football with him. But the second part of that is he has a similar philosophy defensively. How many times can we make the offense stress over things that could be this, but it's that? If it is that, where am I going with the football? If it ends up being max coverage, do I have enough eligibles out in the pattern to try to have a real throw? And this one, everybody will recognize this one. This was the Van Ginkel touchdown versus the Jets. We've got a whole lot of dudes up at the line of scrimmage right there. They've got 6 to block. We've got 7 up there. So we've got more than they do at the line of scrimmage. Aaron Rodgers knows that. If we end up bringing them all, he doesn't know who's going to be popping out. He doesn't know if everybody's coming, but he's going to try in this instance to just throw a little quick slant with this player right here, trying to clear out Cam Bynum, and he's just going to try to catch and throw it. But what makes it really hard on people is they don't know who's dropping out right there. And Gink dropping right under it, very similar to what he did against the Giants, but recognizing now a different sort of pattern. It's not a behind the line kind of bubble screen. This thing's going down the field. And when we watch this from the end zone, I think fans will get a really good understanding of exactly what takes place in about a split second's time. So if Aaron Rodgers holds this ball, there's a really good chance he knows I'm going to probably get hit from the back of my head if I don't get this thing out of my hand. So he knows, he hand signals to get that ball out. and then Gink drops out to the side of where that ball is going, and we're right in place. I mean, that's Aaron Rodgers throwing it right to you, critical moment in the game. But take a look at Harrison Smith. You don't score touchdowns on this stuff, Pete. As great of an athlete as Van Ginkel is, he's trying to get on the field as a tight end, for crying out loud, for us. But watch Harrison Smith. Guy's played a lot of football. He might have to come on our offense and start blocking some wide zone. The way he got that hat placement, ran his feet, and escorted Gink into the end zone. So there's one where you're trying to beat the screen with a quick ball out type play. We've seen it a couple times, and 2 times in 5 games, Andrew Van Ginkel has a touchdown on those plays. So now, you kind of go through the gamut of the emotional roller coaster of an offense against our defense. So now, very similar look.
Rodgers, an old friend, gets him. Harrison Smith.
They've got 4 eligibles displaced from the formation. We're going to have our 7 guys up there again. They can't block them all, but now you're going to say, hey, we're not going to throw the quick ball because we don't want it to get picked off. So we're going to hold it, and we're going to hold it just 1 click too long. As you watch Harrison flying off the edge right here and making this play, it's just an unbelievable example from the end zone of what we're trying to get done. So we're going to essentially be bringing them all. Everybody's coming. We're going to have a couple guys ready to drop out depending on what the scheme of the week is, the flavor of the week is. But Harrison's going to shave this thing off the edge as tight as he possibly can. Aaron's getting ready to start his arm, get that ball out. But once again, 22 gets him. That's not the first time he's gotten him. Hopefully it's not the last either between those 2 great players.
You don't see unblocked defenders much in the NFL.
This
is an accomplishment.
There's 7 up there, Pete. Unless they play with 12, there's not going to be enough for them to block them all if we do try to send them all. And this is why it's important. Look at the D&D right here. We have a big lead against Houston. All right, they're thinking, you know what, the last thing we're going to allow is on a 4th and 18. We want to try to get the ball down the field. So what do you see now? You see 7 potential blockers with that tight end in the backfield right there. And you end up getting a situation where if there's 7 potential blockers, Pete, I know you're a really smart guy. How many guys do you think we're going to have at the line of scrimmage?
Well, you can have 8.
8. That's exactly right. We're going to have 8 guys at the line of scrimmage. But what is it going to be now? We're not going to send them all. We're going to wait. We're going to time this up. And now we're going to drop back, and you won't believe this. We're going to play 2 Tampa out of that look where we just had 8 guys at the line of scrimmage, force a ball out kind of throw, and we're ready to rally and tackle it. Remember, 4th and 18, that's a turnover right there. Doesn't go on the stat sheet as one, but that ends up being one of those things. So there you go. You see it, Pete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up there. If we bring them all, you don't have enough to block. If you try to release them out quickly, we can cover them, and then the threat of making it all look the same. And now, believe it or not, Josh Metellus is going to be the Tampa middle runner, trying to get all the way out of there. We're going to get people flooding. And then what I wanted people to watch right here, so glad we got this guy back to the roster, Jalen Redmond. All right, going to be a guy that we're going to be elevating. He's still very much a part of our team, and he's going to have a major impact. And when you go back to that, playing it one more time, just watch him right there. What happens when you do this? This is just a 4-man rush, Pete. If we just lined up and played cover 2 from soft coverage at the sticks, they're going to be able to get the slide going where they want. Right now, they've got to protect like 8 guys may come. So what ends up happening? Jalen's getting single blocked by the center, beating him across his face with a nice move at the start. Might even have been a hold right there, but 4th and 18, we'll take it, ball out, Vikings football. That's kind of just in a nutshell, and I could have showed about another 15 plays of guys at the line of scrimmage coming, dropping, different types of pressures off that. Credit Flo and his staff, it's been phenomenal, and guess what? We're going to just keep building and building. There's going to be some new wrinkles here and there, and try to keep people really off balance all season long.
Well, Coach, we can't wait to see what you guys have in store for us next. But we will all be able to see that on the next edition of Film Room with Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell.